Kings. You've been listening to the Franchise First Take Thunder postgame show. Coming up, we have the high school football show coming to you right here on 107.7 The Franchise.
107.7 The Franchise.
Vision correction began decades ago, and it started with procedures that worked fairly well, but what we have now is better than I ever could have imagined.
Dr. Luke from Clearsight.
LASIK itself has now been dubbed the most effective elective procedure in the world. There's nothing better out there. PRK of today is better than the PRK of even 10 years ago. We have a variety of implants that can treat prescriptions or vision problems that we could never have imagined treating years ago. We can treat presbyopia, we can treat nearsightedness, we can treat abnormal corneas, we can treat people who have been told for years that there was nothing that we could do. Now we have the technology to treat that. If it's out there, we're going to have it here at Clearsight.
If you've ever been told you're not a candidate for LASIK, it's time to schedule your free eye exam at Clearsight. And the only thing better than freedom from glasses and contacts is $1,000 off and 24 months interest-free financing. Call 733-2020 or visit clearsight.com. And remember,
2020 or it's free.
That's the Clearsight guarantee. And you are going to love what you see.
Gotta move it? Oklahoma Trailers Direct. Gotta haul it? Oklahoma Trailers Direct. Gotta tow it? Oklahoma Trailers Direct. People come from all over to buy from Oklahoma Trailers Direct for their value, price, quality, and selection. They offer financing and rent-own options that require no credit check. Yep, everyone is proved. Come on down to Oklahoma Trailers Direct, 2890 Melville Lane in Norman. Online at oktrailersdirect.com or give them a jingle at 405-701-9927. Open Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5, and Saturday 9 to 1. Oklahoma Trailers Direct.
Big Boys Guns, Ammo, and Range is Oklahoma's largest family-owned, climate-controlled gun range. Shop our huge selection of new and used firearms and try before you buy with any of our hundreds of rentals on site. Big Boys Guns offers private lessons and classes for all skill levels at our 24-lane gun range with distances up to 25 yards. While you're there, ask about our many services such as appraisals, cleaning, board siding, and more. Just 3 miles west of Will Rogers Airport or at BigBoysGunsandAmmo.com.
Looking for a family-friendly food option that has something for everyone? Qdoba is the answer. Qdoba is a proud sponsor of the Franchise High School Game of the Week. And whether you want a burrito stuffed with steak or you want a bowl filled with cilantro, lime rice, and black beans, Qdoba has you covered. Ask them about catering. They can take care of you from a small group of friends with chips and queso to major events. Remember, fast, friendly, and fresh. Qdoba on 1300 West Covell in Edmond is the place to go.
Why are there a bunch of turkeys around here, Brandon? These are the turkeys from the city who can't stock the inventory of new and used trucks and sell them the way that we sell them at Seth Larley Ford in Pauls Valley. Oh, those are the same turkeys that use smoke and mirrors to fake customers to come to their dealership? Only to find no inventory? Those are the turkeys. Turkeys are for the holidays, not for buying trucks, Oklahoma. We don't turkey around. We have over $10 million in truck inventory right now, and they're all on sale, no matter the make, model, or trim, especially Ford trucks. We leave the turkeys in the city, and we give you all the gravy. Tell them, Seth. That's my promise of oil changes and engines for life on your used gas or diesel at no additional cost to you. So put a little gravity in your travel and get to Oklahoma's #1 truck dealer. Seth Larley Ford, I-35, exit 72 in Pauls Valley, or visit us online at SethLarleyFord.com. SethLarleyFord.com.
At Highland Dairy, you're not just an employee, you're part of our family. We're looking for hard-working, experienced professionals to join our team. Visit HighlandDairy.com to learn more and apply for open positions. Highland Dairy Foods Company, LLC is an equal opportunity employer.
At Big Red Kia in Norman, we don't want your old car, we need your old car. So we'll give you exactly what your old car is worth down to the penny. Big Red Kia, I-35 Norman, or BigRedSports.com.
KRXO FM and KRXO HD Oklahoma City, a product of Tyler Media. Vote the Franchise your favorite station for sports. Tonight, in every part of our state, the games have been played and champions are being made. And we're covering every single matchup from GameDayOklahoma.com. This is the Prep Sports Postgame, presented by Aspen Health and Rehab. We're taking you all the way up to midnight as we check in with the state's leading coaches and broadcasters for reports on tonight's game. The Prep Sports Postgame is also brought to you by
High Pass and the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority, Billy Sims Barbecue. Barbecue, Rogers State University, Pioneer Cellular, NES, Oklahoma's #1 choice for Epson quality office products. By the Martinez Agency, the Cherokee Nation, Legacy Entertainment LLC, Diesel Horse Sports and Orthopedics, and by the Score Lab, Oklahoma's source for real-time scores.
From Boise City to Broken Bow, from Miami to Mangum, here's Grant Merrill and Randy Heights as the Prep Sports postgame starts now.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into the Prep Sports postgame across the great state of Oklahoma. Grant Merrill, Randy Heights along with you. I'm in Tulsa tonight. Randy is somewhere in southern Cleveland County, we believe.
Northern Cleveland County.
Northern Cleveland County.
Yeah.
Okay. We won't give away the exact location. We don't want throngs of, ladies coming to chase you down or anything. But
please.
But anyway, we are into the first round of the playoffs. We have completed another Friday night of football. We have several games that are still going right now. We will keep you up to date on all of those, the biggest of which right now is Owasso and Broken Arrow. Broken Arrow is actually on about the 5-yard line, 5:25 left to go in the ball game, and it's Owasso 40, BA 35, BA trying to score, and I think they may try to do it right here. Hang on, I'll tell you. I've got that on the big screen here at Scenic Barrel Manor. Randy, you've been watching some games tonight, too. We were talking off the air, a few upsets brewing this evening.
Yeah, man, it's been really crazy tonight. Not so much, I know you're watching that one at 6A1, but, when you look down at 6A2, there were teams getting knocked off right and left, which is what shocked me. Del City's a team tonight that went in as the number 3 team in the state. Sand Springs, with a record of, I believe, 5-5 coming in, they knock them off 26-17. So, right there, that's a big upset. One, I wouldn't say it's a huge upset, but a lot of people thought maybe Booker T had the talent to compete with Bixby. And remember, last week they went ahead and they got it handed to them by Bixby pretty well. Tonight they played Stillwater, and Stillwater goes to Booker T, and they knocked them off. So, everywhere some upsets in 6A2, except Bixby. They did what Bixby does.
Yeah, they did. No surprise there. Let's go ahead and get to the NES scoreboard. It is powered by Scourdle. NES is Oklahoma's #1 choice for copiers and office equipment. Be sure to visit them on the web at nes.cc. 6A1 scores tonight. It was Mustang advancing to the next round of the playoffs. They beat Edmond Santa Fe 37-17. Union with a big win over UConn tonight, 59-24. We'll talk to Chris Lincoln about that here in 12 minutes. As we mentioned, Owasso with BA still going on. Rams lead the Tigers right now 40-35. BA knocking on the door at the 1-yard line. We've got a big game between Norman North and Jinx still going, but Jinx seems to have that one in hand. Score there in the fourth quarter at last report, 41-14. In Class 6A2 tonight, Choctaw ends their season. They fall to Deer Creek, 36-29. You mentioned that Bixby score. It was the Spartans 78, Putnam City North 7. They at least let them score. It was Sand Springs beating Del City tonight, 21-17. Booker T. Washington, as we mentioned, at Stillwater tonight. Pioneers win that one, 35-26. 5A, Mr. Heights.
Yeah, 5A. A few upsets in 5A as well tonight, Grant. It's been a fun night of Oklahoma high school football, and that's the one thing I always like about this week is you get to see some teams come out and play better than maybe you thought. And let's start with this. Guthrie tonight shuts out Noble 40-0. Coweta over Tahlequah 42-14. Pryor defeats Bishop Kelly 21-6. Collinsville over Shawnee 60-14. Piedmont and Lawton Mac, we're going to have a report later on in the show from Piedmont, but they had the lead at the half and all the way to the last 4 minutes of the game, I believe it was. And Lawton Mac, though, they come back and get the victory 14-10 over Piedmont. Bishop McGinnis, this is where an upset happens. They go to number 5 Ardmore tonight, and they roll 56-21 over Ardmore. McAllister, they knock off Sapulpa 48-14, and Carl Albert rolls El Reno 42-7.
All right, Class 4A, it was Blanchard over Bethany tonight, 24-21. Elk City beats Cushing 21-14. Clinton rolling over Hera tonight, 41-14. Fort Gibson falling to Grove, or trailing Grove in the fourth quarter. That one's still going. As of 3 minutes ago, it was the Ridge Runners 42, Fort Gibson 35. Hilldale falls to Wagner Bulldogs, edging them tonight 37-35. It was Bristow over Broken Bow 55-6. It was Poto over Catoosa tonight 56-14. And Tuttle beats Newcastle 34-3. Okay, 5:11 left to go in the game between Owasso and Broken Arrow. Broken Arrow has just scored once again to take a 41-40 lead over the Rams. We'll keep an eye on that one here in just a few minutes. And with 3A, here's Randy Heights.
All right, number 2, Heritage Hall. They roll Pauls Valley 59-20. Verdigris over Seminole 39-27. Sulphur, they knock off Anadarko 17-14. Holland Hall over Chakota 62-0. Lincoln Christian beats up on Bonita tonight 56-6. Berry Hill over Stigler 28-6. Perkins Tryon over Lone Grove 41-7. And Plainview, they knock off Kingfisher 48-20.
All right, Class 2A tonight. It was Rejoice Christian leading Kiefer at last report, 61-30. That game being played in Owasso tonight. Eufaula beating Keys tonight, 42-14. Community Christian over Davis, 54-33. Bayan blanks Atoka, 61-0. It was Marlowe over Purcell, 63-20. Sequoia Claremore falls to Beggs and ends their season tonight, 50-20. Metro Christian beating Sperry tonight, 41-7. It was Jones over Luther, 35-28. Cassia Hall beats Hugo tonight, or leads Hugo tonight, 55-6. They should have that well in hand, as the last report had that one in the fourth quarter. Elmore City Purnell beating Oklahoma Christian School tonight, 42-20. It was, well, we've got 3 different games being played on the Squirtle scoreboard.
That's hard to do.
Yeah, it's Oklahoma Christian over Prague was a score that we had, 36-8. We'll check back on that Elmore City Purnell game and see what's going on there. It was Victory Christian over Adair, 56-6 tonight. Alva falls to Crossings Christian, 48-13. Lindsay beats Bethel tonight, 26-21. It was Chandler over Perry, 41-13. Washington beats Comanche, 55-20. And Antlers ends Pecola's season. Antlers victorious 22-0. How about Class A, Randy?
All right, Class A. Let's go through it. Number 10, Elmore City Purnell. They knock off Oklahoma Christian Academy 42-20. You got Oklahoma Christian School. They defeat. I've got the same thing here, Grant. Sorry, I started looking at that.
Something's going on.
All right, so let's scratch that. So anyway, Mounds over Porter consolidated 62-21. Woodland defeats Quapaw 52-18. Cashion over Dibble 48-14. Gore knocks off Weoka 61-0. Tonkawa with a shutout of Wayne tonight 27-0. Minko over Moreland 21-14. Hooker knocks off Boone Apache 57-8. Hinton and Ringling, number 1 Ringling, they roll 53-13. Stroud shuts out Warner 18-0. Fairview over Cordell 48-6. Morrison knocks off Oklahoma Union 42-16. Pahuska over Hominy 43-12. Burns Flat Dill City over Mangum 50-34. Pawnee knocks off Commerce 50-13. And how about this for a shootout score, Grant? Colcord and Okemah. Okemah's the number 9 team in the state, 10-1 coming in. Colcord was 8-2 and unranked. Colcord gets the victory tonight, 53-52.
Oh, wow. Shootout there for sure.
Yeah.
All right, Class B scores tonight. Strother falls to Empire 48-29. It was the Wetumpka over Arcoma 56-26. Regent Prep beats Covington Douglas 64-22. Caddo over Snyder 36-26. Davenport beats Yale 48-0. It was Pioneer Pleasantville over Drumright 54-0. It was, let's see here, Foyle falling to Garber 52-0. Keota over Waletka 46-14. DeWar beats Cave Springs 81-6. Tipton over Southwest Covenant 52-6. Shattuck beats Pond Creek Hunter 48-0. Falco Forgan beats O'Keene 62-8. It was Sealing over Ringwood 50-8. It was Quinton falling to Summit Christian 27-22. Laverne beats Cherokee tonight 54-8, and Velma Alva over Cyril in that final score 50-0. And we'll wrap it up with Class C scores and 8-man.
Boise City and Maysville tonight. Boise City wins 44-14. You got Oaks and Timberlake. Timberlake, number 2 team in the state. They put up big numbers all year long. They shut out Oaks 54-0. Mountain View Godibo, again a team that puts up big numbers. Number 1 team in the state. They roll Sharon Mutual 64-0. Tyrone over Thackerville 57-12. Winoka shuts out Temple 46-0. Blue Jacket and Midway. Midway gets the victory 64-30. Wesleyan Christian over Sissaquah 35-16. And Maud shuts out Welch tonight 48-0. That's it for Class C, Grant. And I'll work on getting the brackets where we have all the matchups before we get out of here tonight.
All right, well, we've gone through the entire scoreboard here in this first round of the playoffs, and we'll remind you that tonight's ball games are underway, and we've got a few that are still going, so stay with us as we'll keep you up to date on everything. Right now, as we mentioned, the big game in Class 6A1, the Blankenship Bowl, Part 2, as Owasso and Broken Arrow facing off at Broken Arrow Memorial Stadium tonight, and right now the Tigers lead the Rams 41-0 as Owasso's trying to get upfield here, so we'll keep an eye on that as that one has 3:41 left to play. Tonight's Prep Sports postgame is all brought to you by Aspen Health and Rehab in Broken Arrow. They're, of course, your choice for long-term care in Green Country. Be sure and visit them on Monday. If you have a loved one that needs long-term care, they will take great care of your family. We'll take a break and be back right after this. It's the Prep Sports postgame on the Game Day Oklahoma Network.
When your health throws you a curveball, many times outpatient rehab is your best option. Aspen Health and Rehab in Broken Arrow is changing the way that Oklahoma families are thinking about long-term care. With every amenity of home, first-class dining, and professionals that put your care first, Aspen Health and Rehab is ready to take on your personalized plan of care. Check them out today at AspenHealthRehab.com. Aspen Health and Rehab, where healthcare and luxury come together.
Why did we choose Rogers State University?
I like the smaller classes.
I like a professor who knows me by name.
I like living on campus.
I like receiving financial aid to help me with tuition. Discover RSU for yourself.
Our education, our goals, our future. It all starts here. Your future begins now at Rogers State University in Northeast Oklahoma. In-state tuition available. Learn more at rsu.edu.
When Oklahoma companies need a copier, they choose NES. NES has an exciting new partnership that is saving clients time and money. Owner Eddie Silke is here to tell us more about the Epson difference.
They have come up with a patented technology called Precision Core. It's a heat-free technology. It's affordable. It is easy to use. From a service perspective, very few parts that need to be replaced. It's a simple device.
Find out more by calling 918-665-5502 today.
Skortle is Oklahoma's premium scoring app for high school sports statewide. Through Skortle, not only can sports fans check their team's scores, rankings, district standings, and schedules, they can find fake playoff brackets, chat live on the new chat forum, or use the new fan poll to pick individual game winners. Updates are rolling out regularly, keeping the app fresh and current. Know the score of games across Oklahoma. Download the Skortle app now for free in the Apple or Android store. Always know the score with Skortle.
107.7 The Franchise.
This time of the year, we're cooling, then we're heating, and then we're cooling again, just to try to find the right temperature. Make sure that your AC unit can keep up with you. Call the Armstrong HVAC professionals, Lock Supply, and Armstrong Air, the only choice for homeowners who expect more from their heating and cooling system, and the brands you should trust with your home comfort. Lock Supply is the Southwest premier provider of plumbing, electrical, and HVAC supplies, serving customers since 1955. Lock Supply is committed to providing great service and supplying quality products from over 600 different vendors, including Bradford White, Generac, Allied Air, DeWalt, and many more. To locate an independently owned and operated Armstrong Air professional near you, go to armstrongair.com or contact your local lot supply.
Welcome home to Cross Timbers Apartments in South Oklahoma City. With an on-site dog park, business center, and on-site gym, you'll be glad you're living at Cross Timbers Apartments. Located in the heart of South OKC on South May Avenue, next to Pub W and a short walk from Early Wine Park. With quick access to I-240 and I-44, you can be at Dell or downtown in just minutes. Visit Cross Timbers today and learn about your new home. Cross Timbers Apartments, a Case & Associates property.
Looking for a family-friendly food option that has something for everyone? Qdoba is the answer. Qdoba is a proud sponsor of the franchise high school game of the week. And whether you want a burrito stuffed with steak or you want a bowl filled with cilantro, lime rice, and black beans, Qdoba has you covered. Ask them about catering. They can take care of you from a small group of friends with chips and queso to major events. Remember, fast, friendly, and fresh. Qdoba on 1300 West Covell in Edmond is the place to go.
We welcome you back to the Prep Sports Post Game on the Game Day Oklahoma Network. Grant Merrill here in Tulsa. Randy Heights is down in Cleveland County tonight at the bunker, and Eric King back in the studios in Oklahoma City, punching all the buttons and bringing us all together tonight. We appreciate you being with us wherever you are. A couple of updates. 2:11 left to go in Class 6A1's last remaining game. Owasso knocking on the door, but VA still holding on to a 41-40 lead in the Blankenship Bowl. The winner of that ball game will take on the Union Red Hawks, who are marching into the playoffs with their newly appointed name. Chris Lincoln had the call of Union and UConn tonight over on KRMG. And Chris, it started out tight, but Union runs away with it tonight.
Yeah, as usual, this is their 8th win in a row. Now, Grant, they improved to 10-1 on the season, and as you said, the 1-0 is their new mascot nickname, the Red Hawks, just approved this past week by the Union School Board. And they were dominant in the first half, 35-17 at halftime, despite very unusual for Union. They had 2 fumbles they lost, had a pass intercepted for a pick six, and then allowed a 90-yard kickoff return to UConn. But in the second half, it was all Union taking control of the football game and pulling away to that 59-24 victory. Our player of the game was the senior quarterback, Roland Banks. What a performance he had. He had 375 yards of total offense, 6 touchdowns. He threw for 4 touchdowns, 8 of 15, 251 yards. Ran for 2 more scores on 18 carries, 124 yards. So now Union and their Red Hawk mascot, full flight, they're ready to head to, well, we'll have to find out where it's going to be. They'll play the winner of that Union Owasso game. I don't know, the Owasso and Broken Arrow game. I don't know if they decide that or not. It's a wild one. Brad, you have to keep us updated on that one, certainly. But here at the it's a final game of 36 seniors, and Union wins it easily, 59-24 over UConn to go 10-1 in the season into the state semifinals for the 28th time in Union football history.
Owasso just tried to convert on the 4th down, and their pass fell incomplete out of bounds. And so right now, VA still leads 41-40 with the clock rolling, 1:45 left. So it looks like Owasso's season could be coming to an end, barring, well, I say that. There's still 90 seconds left. You never know with these two teams. So
I was going to say, guys, that matchup tonight, Owasso and Broken Arrow, I think it just shows you how balanced the East Side schools are, whether it's Jinx, Owasso, Broken Arrow. I mean, it's so well, and Union, they're all so well and evenly matched over there.
Well, Thanksgiving just got a little more interesting over at Cassidy Blankenship. So it's going to be, because, of course, the first time these two teams met, Owasso just throttled VA, and now, of course, Bill Blankenship, the head coach of the Rams, Josh Blankenship, his son, the head coach of the VA Tigers, and man, it's a shootout tonight, that is for sure, Chris, and we'll look forward to hearing the call next week. Will you have that one, or will Rick be back?
No, Rick should be back. I see you playing at home, so I'm sure Rick Coyle will do that semifinal game of the Broken Arrow Owasso. I do know that Union, of course, has those both teams. They early in the season, September the 3rd, they put a 38-28 beating on Broken Arrow, which kind of set the stage here. Then the next week, Jenks shut out, 22-0. And they came back on the 24th of September, and they beat Owasso in overtime, 10-7. That's the last close game that Union's had before this 8-game win streak. But we know for sure the Union Redhawks will be in the state semifinal next week. Man, we'll find out who and where, but should be a heck of a showdown.
All right, well, Chris, keep listening. I'll tell you who wins here in just a second, okay?
Well, standing up right with you, man.
There you are, Chris Lincoln joining us as he, of course, had the call of the Union Redhawks win over UConn tonight. Next up, El Reno and Carl Albert in the first round of the Class 5A playoffs. Kirk Norman had the call on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Kirk, how are you?
I am doing really well. I've got a 42-7 win over the Reno Indians, so there's nothing to complain about from Carl Albert tonight.
Well, give us the rundown. Who really stood out for Carl Albert, and kind of give us your players of the game, brought to you by the Martinez Agency.
Well, the game really started out. El Reno actually won the toss, and they took the ball, which was a little bit unusual, but still, they went three, and when they got ready to get out, they tried to punt the ball. The ball was blocked by Andon Foster, who took it in for the scoop and score, and really Carl Albert never looked back after that. There was a 35-yard touchdown run by Xavier Robinson, and then late in the first half, Xavier Thomas picked off a pass at the 10-yard line and get 90 yards for a pick six. So our players of the game were what we call the X factor, Xavier Robinson and Xavier Thomas. So we had two players of the game, and they just absolutely shut down the Reno Indians this evening. And Carl Albert moves on now to face Coweta next week right here at Gary Rose Stadium in Memphis City.
All right. Well, Kirk, I look forward to talking to you guys next week. Sorry, Randy.
No, let's go. No worries. We're good. We're good, man.
Okay. All right. Kirk, thank you very much. All right, it's 10:21 on the Prep Sports Post Game. Grant Merrill, Randy Heights, Eric King along with you. If you want to interact on Twitter, I am at Grant Merrill. That's MERRILL. Randy is at RJ Heights 1077. Next up on the Rogers State University in Studio Hotline, the victorious coach of the Sand Springs Sandites, Bobby Klink, joining us tonight. Big win over Del City. Del City coming in 9-1 on the season, and of course Sand Springs coming in and winning that one 21-17. Coach, congratulations.
No, thank you so much. It was a good win for our program.
Well, give us the rundown. How did it unfurl tonight, and who really stood out for you this evening?
Well, I mean, Del City came in with a 9-1 record, a really good football team, really well coached, very physical on offense and defense. So we knew it was going to be a hard football game. And when the defense rose up and did a good job, and towards the fourth quarter, we let the number one quarterback in the state, and I've said it all year, Ty Pennington, lead our offense and go score some points at the end to get us the win.
You guys got off to such a hot start early in the season, and then things didn't go your way for about 3 or 4 games in a row, and you guys got back to the winning ways. What was the key to the turnaround, in your opinion?
We obviously didn't do well against Bixby, but against Booker T and Choctaw, those are very close games. It could have went either way. We had some breaks kind of go our way, and I just remember talking to our coaching staff. There's got to be something that maybe we get in God's favor when we get into the playoffs. We were so dang close, and strange things were happening. I just felt that things were happening like that. And what an amazing performance by our kids. They love each other. I think those 3 losses really kind of gelled our guys, and they just showed their resiliency tonight.
All right, Coach, your Martinez Agency player of the game. Who's that going to be?
Man, it's got to be Ty Pennington, man. We're gonna ride that guy as long as we can.
Well, Coach, just breaking news now. The clock has just hit zeros, and your former home, the Owasso Rams, in their season tonight against VA, and yeah, it happened. And Josh Blankenship victorious over Dad for the first time in his career for the Tigers. So I know that you've known both of those guys for a long time, and that one was sure a shootout tonight.
Yeah, and I've had the pleasure to work with Josh and also Coach B, so that's a bittersweet deal. It's Oklahoma high school football. I mean, it's at its best, nothing better.
Absolutely. Bobby, thank you. Thank you for joining us today.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Grant.
All right. Bobby Klink joining us here on the Prep Sports Postgame. Yes, sir, Randy.
That's amazing. And when you look at that tonight, getting that victory there, that's an upset there at the 6A1 level. And we're seeing it throughout the classes this whole night. You know, teams that we didn't think were going to lose, going ahead and getting knocked off tonight. Some great games across the state.
All right, let's go to Northwest Oklahoma. The mighty Winoka Railroaders with a shutout win tonight over Temple, 46-0, the final score in the 8-man level. And Ben Buckland had the call on 1430 KALV tonight. How are you, Ben?
I'm fine. It was a short call. It was over at halftime. The Temple Tigers pulling up from down around the Lawton area, and like I said, it was over at the half. Barry Giles, the coach of the Temple Tigers, I kind of felt for him a little bit. We go back a ways. He played as a lineman at the University of Oklahoma, and then he played for us on the Yard Dogs when Barry Switzer and I and Jeff Lund had the Yard Dogs arena football team. Chatting with Barry before the game, he had 10 players tonight. His quarterback quit earlier this week, and his best athlete was on crutches on the sideline. So, but they didn't throw in the towel, and they gave it all they could. Temple Tigers go down 46-0. It looks like you guys would know more than me, but I think Winoka goes to Maud next week. Does that sound right to you?
That would be correct.
Yeah.
That is correct. Maud did win tonight, so that's where you guys head.
So 154 miles from here in Northwest Oklahoma. Maud, as you know, to get to Maud, you have to go through Bow Lake, so we know that's just southeast of Shawnee. So we'll make that trip this week and look forward to it. I'm going to give the player of the game to two guys tonight. There are two seniors on the Winoka squad, only two. They started with three. One of the seniors is injured tonight. Drake Brady didn't suit up. So my players of the game are the two seniors, Robert Perot and Sam Sharkey for the Railroaders. Sorry to be a little hoarse, boys. It's a little bit croupy along the sidelines tonight.
Well, would it be fair to say, Ben, that Maud is a suburb of the Seminole community?
You could say that. You could say, and not far from Pink. It's not far away from Pink. Yeah.
And not far from St. Louis as well. St. Louis, Oklahoma.
Yeah, okay.
Now know where you're headed next week. Ben, get to feeling better. We'll talk to you next week.
You bet. Thank you, guys.
All right, the great Ben Buckland on KALV. We stay in Northwest Oklahoma. Alva Goldbugs taking it on the chin. Chris Ruwald had the call along with Craig Kilman on KRDR tonight. How are you, Pastor?
Well, fellas.
That's a deep sigh.
Not real good. Yeah, it's a long drive back tonight to the fair land of Alva.
Well, you guys had Crossings Christian, and sounded like that Crossings Christian kind of never looked back this evening.
Yeah, they did. They were. They did some things that I don't think we were ready for. I think that some teams are better than they look on tape. You know what I mean? Like some teams just they play better than they look, and I think that's kind of what got us a little bit tonight. I don't think that we were expecting them to be as effective in throwing the ball as they are. And by the way, our player of the game was their quarterback Drew Hood. I think Drew Hood. He threw for 260 yards and 4 touchdowns. Yeah, they just got up on the Bugs, and the young Gold Bugs just couldn't fight. And that's really been our problem all year. Is really once things begin going south, we just don't have the ability to pull ourselves out of it. And that was kind of the story of this game also. So.
Well, Eric, we will look forward to the great tradition of Gold Bug basketball, and of course, we'll be doing our scoreboard show throughout basketball season. So we'll want you guys to call in, and can't wait to visit with you. I'm just glad we had you for the season that we did, and congratulations to the Gold Bugs on a heck of a season and a playoff appearance here in 2021.
Well, I appreciate that, fellas. It's been a lot of fun for me, and basketball gets started up here in November 30th as we go play the Chisholm Longhorns. So that'll be a lot of fun. So I appreciate it, and had a lot of fun with y'all.
All right,
it'll be fun, man.
We will talk to you down the road. Chris Ruwalt, KRDR Radio in Alva. Hang with us. More coming up on the Prep Sports Postgame from the Game Day Oklahoma Network.
Dr. Matt Dieselhorst at Dieselhorst Sports and Orthopedics can help you get game day ready. Dr. Dieselhorst works with athletes of all ages, taking a coordinated approach to accelerate return to play and maximize athletic performance. His work with pros in sports training, injury prevention, bracing, functional rehabilitation, and imaging works seamlessly with his medical and surgical expertise. Get started by going to Dieselhorst Sports and Orthopedics. Let Dr. Matt Dieselhorst get you back on the field. Backing all Oklahoma athletes on the field and off.
Let's face it, high school and college sports have changed. And if you plan on taking your talents to the next level, marketing is the name of the game. That is where the Martinez Agency comes in. The Martinez Agency is one of the fastest growing sports marketing firms in the region and can help you set up marketing avenues for your athletes. From player websites to navigating the ever-changing rules of name, imaging, and likeness to generating sponsorship dollars, the Martinez Agency does it all. Athletes, it is time to share your brand story. Log on to martinez-agency.com and find out how today.
If you're a coach or athletic director, this message is for you. Legacy Entertainment has provided light and sound for Oklahoma's hottest concerts for years, but now they're helping schools just like yours elevate their game day atmosphere. From providing light and sound systems to coordinating your team's run-through with fog machines and the hottest elements out there, they'll make sure Friday nights are never the same again. They've helped schools like OU, and they'll help you too. Check them out at LegacyLLC.net. Legacy Entertainment, where every day is game day.
As the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority continues infrastructure modernization, there's never been a better time to have a Pike Pass. Pike Pass account holders enjoy the best toll rates available and interoperability with Kansas and Texas. Open a Pike Pass account today at PikePass.com. Create your own Oklahoma adventure on Amtrak's Heartland Flyer. Enjoy free Wi-Fi, plug-in power, big windows, comfy seats, and 5 stops in Oklahoma. Experience a better way to travel. Book today at Amtrak.com/HeartlandFlyer.
I was totally amazed, number one, that it was possible, and number two, how much my vision improved.
More and more 40, 50, and 60-somethings are learning something surprisingly spectacular about their vision.
It's time to put away the contacts, the fear of cataracts, the nuisance of readers.
With help from Dr. Luke and his team at Clearsight.
What I absolutely love and what's exciting is that we now have technology that can treat those limits that are now happening after the age of 40 to 45.
Nothing but great results. Not having to have readers. I can see perfectly at night. Having the freedom to be able to see.
We now have the technology to give you that vision that you once had and to, in a sense, turn back the clock.
It starts with a free, no-obligation eye exam.
It's definitely life-changing, and I think if you're eligible, you should have this done.
0% financing for 36 months makes it more affordable and more possible than ever.
It's like being 10 years younger at the snap of your fingers.
Call 733-2020 or visit clearsight.com.
The Choctaw have always been guardians of our tribal members and neighbors, near and far. From the Tushka that defended our villages, to aid given to the Irish during the potato famine, today the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma guards the well-being of our communities through a network of health initiatives. We protect Oklahoma through our disaster response team, and we preserve our heritage through cultural activities. Together, we're there for our members and neighbors, because together, we're more.
Welcome. Come on in. We're Pioneer Fasteners and Tools. We've done our homework. You can use us as a resource. We carry a full line of fastening systems. We carry all industrial-grade DeWalt tools. We have Radiance gloves and safety supplies, Warner ladders and fall protection. Tell your friends and family. Help build us up so we can build you up. Pioneer Fasteners and Tools.
Back to the Prep Sports Post Game. Grant Merrill, Randy Heights along with you. I'm in Tulsa. Randy's somewhere in Cleveland County in his bunker tonight, and Eric King is punching all the buttons, making us sound good this evening. And Randy, upset city at a couple of places this evening. We've seen Owasso go down to Broken Arrow. Choctaw has ended their season. Cushing has ended their season. It's Oklahoma high school football at its best, that's for sure.
And I'd say Del City might be the biggest of all of them. They were number 3 in the state coming in, and I really thought, Grant, when we followed along here over the last few weeks, and I thought, no one, I don't think Dell City can do it. No one's going to beat Bixby. But I thought they might have a puncher's chance because they have a pretty good defense. David Stone's a top defensive lineman in the country for next year's class. And I thought, they may have a chance. So tonight's upset, I mean, I'm not going to say all's lost for anyone that wanted to see Bixby not get another state title, but I don't feel good for anyone else in 6A2.
All right, back to the phone lines we go. They are all smiles in Garber tonight. Garber beats Foyle 52-0. The superintendent of the Garber School District, also the color commentator for GarberWolverines.tv, is Will Jones, and he joins us here on the Prep Sports Postgame. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing great, Grant, and no upsets here in Garber. And man, some of those scores you were just rattling off are huge surprises. Can't believe Owasso lost.
Yeah, it's crazy, and I just said earlier on the year that may change Thanksgiving dinner a little bit for the Blankenship's, with Josh finally getting one up on Bill after the first match between them two is so lopsided. But boy, speaking of lopsided, these Garber Wolverines just punching their ticket and headed to the next round of the Class B playoffs.
10-1. Just a great year for our kids and our coaches and our community, and it's exciting times here at Garber, and we're looking forward to making that 2-hour and 18-minute trip to Dewar, defending state champions in Class B. And hey, I get to have dinner in Tulsa on the way. I may take recommendations for you, so we'll talk off the air.
That's fine. I'll give you a list of them. Who stood out for you tonight, Will? Who was really on top of it for Garber? And who would be your Martinez Agency player of the game?
I'm going to give you two names. David Nagel, senior safety and receiver for us. And he also with Wildcat quarterback, 2-point conversions. And then Carson Skuvenek was stellar defensively and had a touchdown as well at the tight end spot. So those two guys really stood out. Ty Dante Chester is just a big key for us. Every game in, game out, he came off an injury. He just kind of focused on defense tonight. So, but those two, David Nagel, Carson Skuvenek, were the key players tonight.
Your initial thoughts on your trip next week? I mean, that is a pretty long road trip, and I know they are the defending state champions, so you guys have your work cut out for you.
We do. I mean, it's a big challenge, but with, like I said, Ty Chester, those other two guys I named, Solomon Bishop, Mark Bishop, those guys are all playmakers, and we're going to have a puncher's chance, and we're going to let the chips fall where they may. There's two cliche answers there for you, but I mean, our kid, we do have some talented kids that can put the ball in the end zone, and when you have that, you'll have a chance.
All right, Coach Will Jones, thank you for being with us tonight. We will talk to you next week.
All right, thanks for having me.
All right, Will Jones with the Garber Wolverines tonight. Randy, you heard him say 218 miles to their destination. Have we really gotten the map out and calculated longest road trips in the playoffs as of yet?
I haven't, but I do know there always are a lot, and it seems to be in the small classes or those odd big schools. Like I remember a few years back when Guyman was pretty good, about 10 years ago, they had to go all the way to the Tulsa side. And I remember they made the bus trip, Grant, and they stopped in, I believe, Enid to kind of go through a walkthrough where their kids could stretch their legs and everything. Because that bus trip, some of these schools, even though they got a long way to go, they're not driving luxury liners. They're the yellow school bus they're getting on right there.
Yeah, well, we will try to calculate next week's longest road trip and see if Will Jones's Garber Wolverines win that one. Okay, it's 10:39. Our next guest on the Rogers State University in-studio hotline is fresh off an appearance in the New York City Marathon. That would be Justin Pettit of the Mix 105.1 in Sallisaw, who arrived back from the Big Apple just in time. Did you call Gore and Wewoka tonight?
That's right, Grant. Gore and Wewoka in the far reaches of western Sequoia County, and it was nothing but the Gore Pirates. Total domination. It was 54-0 at halftime. They started running the clock in the second quarter. Gore added another touchdown in the second half. 61-0, all Gore Pirates.
Well, give us your Martinez Agency player of the game. Who's that going to be for Gore tonight?
That would be junior running back Gunnar Dozier. Had about 150 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. And now Gore will next week have Woodland back at home. It's a rematch of a game last year, which Woodland got the best of them and knocked him out of the playoffs. Coach Tyler and his crew, the Gore Pirates, they are. I've been singing their praises for weeks now. That's the 3rd straight shutout, and they look tough. And that Woodland game, Cashin, they can't look ahead. Cashin is in that bracket with them, so that would be their 3rd round game. But I think Gore is in really good shape right now.
Another game or another team that you call quite often, Vian Wolverines, with a 61-0 shutout over Atoka tonight. Pecola getting shut out by Antlers this evening over in Eastern Oklahoma. Any big surprises kind of out of the Sequoia County teams that you call from time to time?
No, Vian, we thought maybe Atoka would be a little bit better matchup for Vian, but again, that's a long trip for Atoka too. But Vian is really, they're kind of hitting their stride right now. So I really like where Vian's at, but they got a big game next week, probably where I'm going to be next week as well. Beggs comes to Sequoia County to take on Vian. What a second-round matchup. That's a game that's going to be really, really good. Beggs and Vian next week will probably be there at that one. So the only 2 teams from Sequoia County made the playoffs. They both rolled, both won 61-0 tonight, and both of them looking really good right now.
And that Beggs Ryan matchup next week, I got a feeling a lot of points may be thrown up on the scoreboard in that one.
Yeah, I think so. Again, both of these teams, like you said, can score. It's going to be a lot of the scoreboard workers going to have his hands full next week. But then again, a lot of times we'll say that and it'll be 10-7. So you never really know about the playoffs.
And what was that final time in the New York City Marathon?
4 hours, 15 minutes, and 22 seconds. I was gunning for 4 hours, and about mile 20, I got a nice cramped Charlie horse in my quad and had to drag my right leg up Fifth Avenue. But still, 4 hours, 15 minutes, 22 seconds. Not bad for an old guy from Marble City.
Well, as I text,
I give it up to you.
Guy from, I can't run to the end of my driveway, much less 26 miles through New York City. So, congratulations, buddy, and we'll talk to you one last time next week.
All right, man. We appreciate it. Thank you.
There he is, Justin Pettit for the Mix 105.1 in Sallisaw. All right, Guthrie rolling to a shutout win and punching their tickets to the second round of the playoffs tonight. Chris Evans had the call between Guthrie and Noble on Hot 93.7 out of Stillwater. Chris, how are you?
Doing well, guys. Packing up here, getting ready for a week of homework for the McAllister Buffaloes as Guthrie wins this one 40-0. It didn't look like it was going to be that many points as Noble was able to get in the red zone 3 times in the first quarter, but the Guthrie defense bent but didn't break on several of those times. And Isaiah Hammonds, the junior running back, 227 yards rushing. The Guthrie defense had 2 pick six, 2 field goals of 24 and 35 yards. So just a well-rounded ball game by the Blue Jays. They gave down to the second half to that McAllister.
Well,
hey, Chris, Guthrie.
Go ahead, Greg.
Sorry, Chris. I was going to say, Guthrie, it seems like they went through a little slow start to the season, but just seems to have gotten better and better as each week has gone by. Do you feel like this team's hitting that peak point for them just at the right time?
Yeah, you look at the Guthrie season, 10-1 on the year. That one loss to Carl Everett, which Carl Everett scored with 4 seconds left in the ballgame to win that one. But I think after that loss, Guthrie really learned a lot about themselves. And then they had the great overtime victory over Bishop McGinnis. And then Noble comes in here, throws the ball extremely well the entire season. So Guthrie hadn't seen a lot of passing offensive plays. And not very many teams in 5A throw the ball. I think Collinsville, McGinnis, and Noble are probably the top 3 throwing teams in Class 5A. And Guthrie really did a good job with that. So the running game, when it comes to the playoffs, especially 5A football, it's how you run the football and how you defend the football. And Guthrie's doing really well, and that's what they've always had a staple where they feel good about doing that game in and game out.
Well, what a game that sets up for next week with McAllister undefeated on the season. They beat Sapulpa tonight 48-14, and then you guys will lock horns with them. That ought to be a heck of a ball game.
Yeah, it's a running back versus running back. McCarty versus Hammond. Both teams take pride in running the football, and both teams take pride in stopping the run. Guthrie won the state championship against them in 2013, beat them in the semifinals. But it's always a classic matchup between Guthrie and McAllister. It's usually some type of a playoff game, and that would be the case to try to get to the state semifinals. This should be a great ball game in Pittsburgh County.
All right, buddy. We will talk to you next week. Thank you for being with us.
You bet. Have a great weekend, guys.
All right, we'll see you later. Chris Evans joining us tonight from Hot 93.7, home of the Guthrie Blue Jays. Well, big game for Choctaw tonight. Of course, in Class 6A2, Choctaw ends up ending their season with a 36-29 loss to Deer Creek. David Dooley, of course, the voice of the Yellow Jackets. And, well, appreciate all of your contributions this year, David. I know this one didn't really turn out how you thought it might for Choctaw.
That was the lead in the first minute of the game on a turnover. Deshaun Brown ran a fumble back, and they converted on two-point conversion. Wassel to R.J. Jackson, and Yellow Jackets were up. And it was back and forth. Yellow Jackets down by 7 at halftime, came out in the second half and scored on the first possession to tie it up. And after then, it was back and forth, and Yellow Jackets were going in to score. And a guy by the name of Jake Sexton, 6'7", 310 pounds, acted like Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner, and Latrell Ray hit that brick wall, and Sexton just took the ball away from him and started rambling down the field, and our guy tackled that 310-pound guy. But it was a turnover, and they took that turnover in for the final score to go up 36-29, and a tough loss. And the Yellow Jackets, both teams coming in at 8-2.
Who is your Martinez Agency player of the game today?
Well, it has to be number 73, Jake Sexton for Deer Creek, because he played both sides of the ball. First time he's played both sides of the ball all year, except for goal line, but he played both sides, and so he was the standout player on the field tonight. But as the Yellow Jackets ended their season, probably the best highlight of the year came last week when on the road at Bartlesville, their team manager and special needs kid, as he ran the ball in, scored a touchdown on the last play of his senior year, as both teams kind of stood to the side, and both teams congratulated the young man in the end zone. And to me, that's what high school football is all about, is not the winning score, but what happens on the field and the camaraderie and the sportsmanship.
All right, David, appreciate you being on with us this year. We'll talk to you in basketball season.
All right, look forward to it, guys.
All right, David Dooley with the Choctaw Yellow Jackets. We'll take a quick break, be back right after this on the Prep Sports Post Game.
When your health throws you a curveball, many times outpatient rehab is your best option. Aspen Health and Rehab in Broken Arrow is changing the way that Oklahoma families are thinking about long-term care. With every amenity of home, first-class dining, and professionals that put your care first, Aspen Health and Rehab is ready to take on your personalized plan of care. Check them out today at AspenHealthRehab.com. Aspen Health and Rehab, where healthcare and luxury come together.
Squirtle is Oklahoma's premium scoring app for high school sports statewide. Through Squirtle, not only can sports fans check their team's scores, rankings, district standings, and schedules, they can find fake playoff brackets, chat live with a new chat forum, or use the new fan pool to pick individual game winners. Updates are rolling out regularly, keeping the app fresh and current. Know the score of games across Oklahoma. Download the Squirtle app now for free in the Apple or Android store. Always know the score with Squirtle.
Why did we choose Rogers State University?
I like the smaller classes.
I like a professor who knows me by name.
I like living on campus.
I like receiving financial aid to help me with tuition. Discover RSU for yourself.
Our education, our goals, our future. It all starts here. Your future begins now at Rogers State University in Northeast Oklahoma. In-state tuition available. Learn more at rsu.edu.
As the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority continues infrastructure modernization, there's never been a better time to have a Pike Pass. Pike Pass account holders enjoy the best toll rates available and interoperability with Kansas and Texas. Open a Pike Pass account today at PikePass.com. Create your own Oklahoma adventure on Amtrak's Heartland Flyer. Enjoy free Wi-Fi, plug-in powered, big windows, comfy seats, and 5 stops in Oklahoma. Experience a better way to travel. Book today at Amtrak.com/Heartland Flyer.
Mission Point Apartments and More gives you exclusive access to quality living with luxurious amenities. Mission Point is located near I-35 and 19th Street in Moore, with quick access to restaurants, shopping, and activities. Mission Point Apartments is the perfect place to call home. Modern stainless steel appliances, ceramic tile, and a designer accent wall complement your decorating style. Call or come in today. Mission Point Apartments, a Case & Associates property.
Riding a motorcycle down Route 66 is a religious experience. You are at one with the road. Sooner Indian Motorcycle in Norman can help you make that happen. With new Indian motorcycles in the showroom and the largest pre-owned inventory in the state, which means you can ride today. Sooner Indian Motorcycles in Norman, behind On Cue on Tecumseh.
Come see my daddy for your next motorcycle at Sooner Indian Motorcycle. Tell them Maddie sent you.
Gotta move it? Oklahoma Trailers Direct. Gotta haul it? Oklahoma Trailers Direct. Gotta tow it? Oklahoma Trailers Direct. People come from all over to buy from Oklahoma Trailers Direct for their value, price, quality, and selection. They offer financing and rent-to-own options that require no credit check. Yep, everyone is approved. Come on down to Oklahoma Trailers Direct, 2890 Melville Lane in Norman. Online at oktrailersdirect.com or give them a jingle at 405-701-9927. Open Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5 and Saturday, 9 to 1. Oklahoma Trailers Direct.
Looking for a family-friendly food option that has something for everyone? Qdoba is the answer. Qdoba is a proud sponsor of the franchise high school game of the week. And whether you want a burrito stuffed with steak or you want a bowl filled with cilantro, lime rice, and black beans, Qdoba has you covered. Ask them about catering. They can take care of you from a small group of friends with chips and queso to major events. Remember, fast, friendly, and fresh. Qdoba on 1300 West Covell in Edmond is the place to go.
Back here on the Prep Sports Postgame on the Game Day Oklahoma Network, Grant Merrill here in Tulsa at scenic, stately Merrill Manor. Randy Heights somewhere in his bunker in Canadian County. And
we keep moving me everywhere. Come on.
Yeah, did I say Cleveland County? Did I say
No, you
Canadian?
said Canadian. Yeah, you said Canadian.
Oh, well.
I'm in Moore. I'm in the Waters neighborhood. I don't care. I put on Twitter today. We're having a food truck out here next Tuesday. It's a very famous one. Been on diners, drive-ins, and dives. It's going to be in our neighborhood, so I promoted that earlier today. So,
do they come just for you? I mean, is this how this works? Is that you call the food truck and you're like its number one customer?
I will say, Saucy Sicilian, they are a friend of the station and become a friend of ours from our early days. So, yeah, I did reach out to them to get them to come to our neighborhood.
Okay, well,
yeah.
Between them and Tony Wilson up at Chandler, I mean, we did establish that his food truck has been parked in the parking lot of our main sponsor, Aspen Health and Rehab at times. So, we're going to get all the food trucks we can good business. That's just what we do on this show.
Well, and we're going to get Tony out to my neighborhood at some point as well. So, yeah, it's going to be good.
I'm ready for some to come to my neighborhood as well. Okay, back to the phone lines. Enough about food.
Oh, okay.
Let me pull up here and see who we got, because honestly I've forgotten. Oh, it's Buck Ringgold of Scorebook Live. He, of course, had a big game with Jinx tonight in Norman North. Wasn't that where you were, Buckaroo?
Indeed, I'm here at the friendly confines of Allen Trimble Stadium. My first visit here to this fine facility.
Well, it is a fine facility, that's for sure. And kind of give us the rundown on the Trojans of Norman North tonight.
Well, the Timberwolves actually jumped out to a 7-0 lead, but they suffered a tough break when their starting quarterback, Gavin Frakes, left the game with an injury and didn't return. And Jenks took advantage. They scored 38 straight points in the first half, go up 38-7 halftime, built it to 41-7 in the third quarter, went on to win 41-14 for their 9th straight victory.
Who was your Martinez Agency Player of the Game for the Jinx Trojans tonight?
I would say Jaden Carroll, their talented running back. He had 96 yards on 10 carries with a touchdown all in the first half. He didn't play it all in the second half. He also caught a 63-yard touchdown pass also in the first half. So I would say Jaden Carroll.
Well, you're watching all games all over the place. We've had a few surprises on our end, but what really stands out to you tonight in the way some of these games are shaking out, Bud?
Well, that Owasso Broken Arrow game was, what we figured Owasso had that one in the bag, and then all of a sudden they were talking about, I went down the field to do interviews, and then I came back up to the press box, and they said that Broken Arrow came back on them, so that was kind of surprising right there, and I think I wasn't really surprised by this score by, Sand Springs beating Del City. I kind of had a feeling the Sandouts would beat the Eagles.
Yeah, you can't count out a Bobby Klink coach team, and he was kind enough to join us earlier in the hour, just doing such great things with Sand Springs. And when they lost 3 in a row, they had Bixby, Choctaw, and Booker T. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
It was kind of expected they might lose a few of those games, or at least one or more. But he's the master of the turnaround there, and really can put those things together when it's time to. I mean, when their backs are against the wall, they can perform. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Sand Springs as a big force in 6A2, but man, it's going to be hard for anybody to catch Bixby the way they're played right now.
I know, and of course, next week they play Stillwater, and I think on paper that should be an interesting matchup. Of course, Bixby kind of ran over them, in the regular season, so we'll see what happens next week. But of course, obviously, I plan to be at that game because obviously, that'll be the game where Bixby's going to try and, tie Wagner's consecutive wins record.
All right, well, Buck, thank you for being with us. We'll talk to you one more time next week.
Sounds good, Grant.
All right, thank you. Buck Ringgold, Scorebook Live, 10:56. Time for one more call here in the 10 o'clock hour as we'll get ready for another hour of scores and interviews with everybody. Jared Gallagher, of course, with the Owasso Rams Radio Network at KYFM. Jared, man, what a shootout tonight, and it didn't go the way you guys wanted it to, but I was watching the broadcast, and it just came down to the wire, didn't it?
Yeah, Grant, it was a gut-wrencher for Owasso fans, and, something that I know, it's a tough one all around. You give up 3 turnovers, and that's probably the difference in the game right there, but Owasso fought to the end, had a chance to go down and score it, and on a 4th down and 10, what looked like a completed pass from where we were and on the broadcast, we watched it 3 or 4 different times, was called an incomplete pass. That was the end of the ball game there. But, an instant classic at Memorial Stadium in Broken Arrow.
Well, I was watching it, and of course, Owasso was down, and then they took a 2-touchdown lead, and then BA came back. And, I mean, you guys traded the lead several times, and it was just, like you said, an instant classic. And this wasn't the same Broken Arrow team that Owasso just waylaid earlier in the season. They've really seemed to have come a long way.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And hats off to Coach Josh Blankenship and his staff for, making that change, kind of scrapping things offensively halfway through the season and making some changes. They know who their playmakers are, and they got the ball to Marion Horn and Robert Spears Jennings quite a bit tonight. Marion Horn had a good night. I think 30 carries, 40 or 50 yards. Maybe I didn't take a look at the stat sheet, but had 2 touchdowns on the ground, and he's going to be a force too offensively, and someone to watch out for as they take on Union next week.
And your Martinez Agency Player of the Game, who's that going to be?
Well, I'm selfishly giving it to Cole Adams because he will absolutely be, in my eyes, the top prospect in the state next year. He is, if you've not watched him play yet, it's hard to believe that he can do the things that he does. He had 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns tonight, 86 yards and 81 yards, and then had a punt return for a touchdown that was called back on a blindside block, but that was behind the play, so really didn't have an effect on his play on that punt return. But he is an absolute dude and should be watched out for next year as he becomes a senior.
Jared, great job on the broadcast this year. Thanks for all your contributions to this show, and we will talk to you in basketball season.
Thank you, Grant. Much appreciated.
All right, Jared Gallagher, KYFM, the Owasso Sports Network. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification as hour number 2 is next on the Prep Sports Postgame.
KRXO FM and KRXO HD Oklahoma City, a product of Tyler Media. Vote the franchise your favorite station for sports. Tonight, in every part of our state, the games have been played and champions are being made. And we're covering every single matchup from GameDayOklahoma.com. This is the Prep Sports Postgame, presented by Aspen Health and Rehab. We're taking you all the way up to midnight as we check in with the state's leading coaches and broadcasters for reports on tonight's game. The Prep Sports Postgame is also brought to you by
High Pass and the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority, Billy Sims Barbecue, Rogers State University, Pioneer Cellular, NES, Oklahoma's #1 choice for Epson quality office products, by the Martinez Agency, the Cherokee Nation, Legacy Entertainment LLC, Diesel Horse Sports and Orthopedics, and by the Scortal app, Oklahoma's source for real-time scores.
From Boise City to Broken Bow, from Miami to Mango, here's Grant Merrill and Randy Heights as the Prep Sports Postgame starts now.
Hour number 2 of the Prep Sports Postgame on the Game Day Oklahoma Network. I am Grant Merrill in Tulsa. Randy Heights joining us from somewhere in Cleveland County to the bunker there in Moore, and Eric King at the studios of Tyler Media in Oklahoma City, punching all the buttons, making us sound good tonight. Hour number 2 of the quarterfinal episode of the Prep Sports Postgame, and we've had a lot of upsets tonight. You just heard a moment ago with Jared Gallagher at the as the Owasso Rams fall to Broken Arrow. They were a preseason favorite to go all the way, but the Tigers had their number tonight. And the Blankenship family Thanksgiving just got a little more interesting as Josh Blankenship beats Bill Blankenship in round 1 of the playoffs. Another game that didn't go quite the way a lot of folks, including me, wanted it, because I'm just a big fan of Bryson Colwell's, was the Ardmore game, as they ended up falling to Bishop McGuinness 56-21 tonight. And we go back to the Rogers State University in studio hotline where Bryson's down there at the big station. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good, Grant. How are you guys?
We're good. We're good. Boy, you guys took it on the chin with Bishop McGuinness tonight. I know that you probably would have liked to have seen the Tigers play that a little more close tonight.
Hey, very proud of these Ardmore Tigers and the 9-2 season that they had in 2021. And my color analyst, Cody Spiel, he said it best at the beginning of the broadcast. The best 6-4 team in Oklahoma, I think, is Bishop McGuinness, and they showed us why tonight, 56-21 at Noble Stadium in Ardmore. And man, that district that they're in, it's a tough one, and now we say why.
Yeah, who was your Martinez Agency player of the game tonight?
I'll throw it over to Cody.
All righty. Martinez Agency player of the game is going to be Jalen Slim Reed. The guy tonight had 12 receptions for 86 yards and 2 touchdowns. Just an absolute workhorse on those screen passes and whatnot. Had to break a lot of tackles, and he earned every yard on that as well. On the season, he ended up with 749 receiving yards, 43 catches, and 11 touchdowns.
All right. Well, does the season for you boys end here? Will we get to talk to you from another game next week?
No. The plan is for you to get to talk to us, I guess, the next 4 weeks or however longer that you guys will be doing this thing. We're going to go out and cover the Ringling Blue Devils. Tentatively, we'll be headed out to Class A football now. Ringling won tonight 53-13 against Hinton. And we've covered Ringling now since the beginning of the 2019 season on and off. They won the state championship a couple years ago.
Well, I will say this about Ringling. There is a young man on that team who I have some family connections to, Caden Barron. His dad, Chad's a pastor there. Chad's dad, Jack Barron, was the pastor of Boldro First Assembly of God when my family went there back in the 90s and the 2000s. And we're rooting for Caden and Ringling to go all the way.
Absolutely. We are root for them as well. And just real quick, a couple of other area games we had, guys. Perkins Tryon, Lone Grove, that one 41-7. Perkins Tryon, Sulphur and Anadarko at home. That one was 17-14. The Sulphur Bulldogs and Plainview beat Kingfisher at home 48-20. So just to give you guys a quick area rundown. And Velma Alma Class B football beat Cyril 50-0. So just a little recap of some Southern Oklahoma football for you guys.
All right, brother. Well, man, we appreciate you. We will talk to you wherever you are with Ringling next week.
They've got Minko at home, so we'll talk to you then.
Okay. Appreciate it, Bryson. Thank you. Bryson Colwell joining us from Southern Oklahoma tonight. All right, Tony Wilson, he must have heard his food truck mentioned earlier because he is on the line now. How are you, Lugnut?
Lugnut's great, baby. The Lions with a 42-13 victory over the Perry Maroons here at Joe Telford Field in Chandler, America.
Well, how about that? Give us the rundown and your Martinez Agency player of the game tonight.
Well, guys, I mean, starting out, it's just a little bit slow, 14-13 at half, and Perry comes up with a defensive stand right before half, and Caden Jones found Boo Mackey for a 15-yard touchdown, put the Lions up. And then Desmond Williams from Perry broke one for 82 to make it a 7-7 game. And then Jones with a 43-yard touchdown run makes it 14-7. And then after a fumble, a deflected pass from Jones is intercepted, Chase Davis ran it in for 14 yards. But here's the big key, Grant, and kind of gamble paid off for Coach Gray and the Lions is they got a personal foul, so they backed it up 15 for the extra point. Was no good, made it 14-13. And then it's almost just like we flipped a switch, and guess what? The guy I've been telling you about all season long, Casman Hill. I mean, how many times have I said it, guys? Every week. How about 41 carries, 294 yards, and 4 touchdowns? Wow. I mean,
that's a night.
What's that?
I said that's a good night.
Yeah, that's carrying the rock right there, Randy, is what that is. 7-yard touchdown run, 2-yard to 37, and broke one for 75 there with about 4 minutes to go to really seal the deal from my 3 scores. But, I mean, coach's staff was a little disappointed, and I don't blame them. I mean, we didn't play typical Chandler football in the first half and came out maybe overlooking our next week opponent. We were heading to Stevens County with the Marlowe Outlaws, and, you know, that who ended our season last year with a 3-point victory, and it was a hard-fought game both ways, and Marlowe knew they were in a fight, and I can assure you they know they're going to be in a fight next week too, but we'll be headed down that way, and old Chandler basketball coach Craig Patterson, he's already said he's going to fire up the grill, so we're going down early and maybe play a little golf at Duncan at the Territory. We just may make a whole day of it, you know, but week 2 of the playoffs is here we come, and guys, I know that everybody's got to play somebody tough, but look at the matchups in Class 2A in Week 2. My gosh.
I know.
They're ridiculous.
Tony, how long is Marlowe's winning streak right now?
Well, they got beat did they get beat last year? They've got to be somewhere in the 14, 15, 16.
They're 10-0 this
somewhere
year. I couldn't remember if they got beat last year or not, but
they did.
Okay, well.
Yeah, but we're gonna try to end their winning streak this year. I can assure you that, Grant. But we're gonna go down there and give it our all and see where the chips fall, and hopefully we'll get to week 3 with another tough opponent. But I tell you, guys, 2A, you know, kind of weeded out a lot of the 4 seeds, and I think that only one game didn't go to plan. Right? Was that the Lindsay Bethel game?
Yes. That I'm going through my bracket right now, Tony, and that's the only one it looks like that, you know, is an upset in 2A.
Randy, take a look at that. And I don't know if those records were right, but was that an 8-2 at a 6-5?
Yeah, see, that's what I was trying to look at. Yeah, here, give me 1 second. Lindsay Bethel, let me pull this back up. I believe you're right on that because I had to do a double check on it, you know, a double take when I looked at it. But we all know this. I mean, guys, district games matter. I mean, out of the 5 games that Lindsay lost, 3 of those could have been the non-district
non-conference,
games.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the difference. That's why you see some of the matchups like this. But between that Marlowe Chandler game and then maybe the Vian Beggs game in 2A, those may be 2 of the more entertaining games next week in the playoffs.
Well, I mean, you know, Casman's special for sure, and they're going to key on him, and as they should, and that's going to give Caden a chance to do what he does. And the 43-yard touchdown run is just a testament to what he can do when you have to worry about Casman so much. And so that just gives us more opportunities to spread our offense out even further. But Casman's going to get his guys. I mean, there's just he's one of those guys that tonight 41 carries, and it worked. Kind of like what they said about Novocaine. Just give it a while, it'll work, and that's what he did. Jeff Matheny, our athletic director, he's my color guy, and he said, Casman's one of those that you just see him, he chinks off 4, 3, 2, here and there. But let me just tell you this: 4th and 3 from the Perry 14 in a 14-13 game with a 4th and 3, 4th and 4. Casman gets hit, and he looks like he's down, and then next thing you know, he's free for 4 yards in a first down. That was pretty much a pivotal point of the entire football game. They were in a position, they read the play well, Perry did, and they just couldn't get him down. I mean, he is just fun to watch, guys. And if you get a chance, looks like that we're going to have our stream up next week, and if you can, just tune in if you can to watch. I mean, it's just really, really fun to watch.
All right.
Hey, tell me, hold on, I missed the pizza truck. What happened? I missed the pizza truck. What happened?
What do you mean?
Well,
we just promoted
I missed the pizza. I missed the comment with the pizza truck.
Well, we were just talking about the fact that Randy Heights is setting up food trucks to come to his neighborhood.
Yeah, I'm in.
I asked.
I know. We got to set up a date with you.
And I mentioned that you had been in the parking lot at one point of our main sponsor, Aspen Health and
Rehab. I have. Right. Now that was snow cones, Grant. That was the snow cone trailer. I haven't been able to get the pizza trailer up there yet. I'm gonna need some help with that one. Can you?
I lose track of how many different products that you offer, but
Tones Enterprises.
I'll talk to the family and see if Aspen Health and Rehab will let some pizza come their way. So how about that?
Hey, let me just say this, guys, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. This has been an incredible, fun ride. The Lions are 8-3, playing great football with you guys each and every week to, recap what we're doing and just talk other football, and to hear everybody else across the great state of Oklahoma that loves and is impassioned as much as we are about high school football. It's just fun, guys. It really, truly is fun, and this is the reason I quit a $75,000 a year job to move back to Chandler, Oklahoma, because this is what I want to do, and this is what I love, and I just love high school sports, and there's no better value than what high school sports provides.
All right, brother. We'll talk to you next week.
We'll talk to you next week. Lions, move on, baby. Here we come, Marlo.
There you go. Tony Lugnut Wilson from Chandler joining us. We'll take a break and be back right after this on the Prep Sports Post Game.
When your health throws you a curveball, many times outpatient rehab is your best option. Aspen Health and Rehab in Broken Arrow is changing the way that Oklahoma families are thinking about long-term care. With every amenity of home, first-class dining, and professionals that put your care first, Aspen Health and Rehab is ready to take on your personalized plan of care. Check them out today at AspenHealthRehab.com. Aspen Health and Rehab, where healthcare and luxury come together.
Why did we choose Rogers State University?
I like the smaller classes.
I like a professor who knows me by name.
I like living on campus.
I like receiving financial aid to help me with tuition.
Discover RSU for yourself.
Our education, our goals, our future. It all starts here. Your future begins now at Rogers State University in Northeast Oklahoma. In-state tuition available. Learn more at rsu.edu.
When Oklahoma companies need a copier, they choose NES. NES has an exciting new partnership that is saving clients time and money. Owner Eddie Silke is here to tell us more about the Epson difference.
They have come up with a patented technology called Precision Core. It's a heat-free technology. It's affordable. It is easy to use. From a service perspective, very few parts that need to be replaced. It's a simple device.
Find out more by calling 918-665-5502 today.
Squirtle is Oklahoma's premium scoring app for high school sports statewide. Through Squirtle, not only can sports fans check their team's scores, rankings, district standings, and schedules, they can find fake playoff brackets, chat live on the new chat forum, or use the new fan poll to pick individual game winners. Updates are rolling out regularly, keeping the app fresh and current. Know the score of games across Oklahoma. Download the Squirtle app now for free in the Apple or Android store. Always know the score with Squirtle.
Well, I was totally amazed, number one, that it was possible, and number two, how much my vision improved.
More and more 40, 50, and 60-somethings are learning something surprisingly spectacular about their vision.
It's time to put away the contacts, the fear of cataracts, the nuisance of readers.
With help from Dr. Luke and his team at ClearSight.
What I absolutely love and what's exciting is that we now have technology that can treat those limits that are now happening after the age of 40 to 45.
Nothing but great results. Not having to have readers. I can see perfectly at night. Having the freedom to be able to see.
We now have the technology to give you that vision that you once had and to, in a sense, turn back the clock.
It starts with a free, no obligation eye exam.
It's definitely life-changing, and I think if you're eligible, you should have this done.
0% financing for 36 months makes it more affordable and more possible than ever.
It's like being 10 years younger at the snap of your fingers.
Call 733-2020 or visit clearsight.com.
Big Boys Guns, Ammo, and Range is Oklahoma's largest family-owned, climate-controlled gun range. Shop our huge selection of new and used firearms and try before you buy with any of our hundreds of rentals on site. Big Boys Guns offers private lessons and classes for all skill levels at our 24-lane gun range with distances up to 25 yards. While you're there, ask about our many services such as appraisals, cleaning, board siding, and more. Just 3 miles west of Will Rogers Airport or at BigBoysGunsandAmmo.com.
The Choctaw have always been a people on the move, from traditional dances to the game of stickball. While we still proudly celebrate our heritage, today the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma promotes upward movement. Through employment and career development, we encourage physical activity and healthy lifestyles through our wellness centers and health clinics, and we support educational growth through schools, scholarships, and grants. Together we move forward, because together we're more.
Here we go. Oh, we're on. Sorry about that. Tom Petty comes on, and I get excited. It's 11:16 on the Pep Sports Post game from the Game Day Oklahoma Network. Grant Merrill here in Tulsa. Randy Heights joining us from just outside of his palatial neighborhood in Moore. And Eric King is in the Tyler Media Studios of 107.7 The Franchise, punching all the buttons and making us sound good tonight. So we appreciate you making us a part of your evening wherever you are. Okay, back to the Rogers State University in-studio hotline. Piedmont was at MacArthur tonight. Mark Larson had the call of that game. Mark, thanks for holding through the break. Lug Duck got a little winded there before the commercials, and we apologize for that, but thank you for being with us tonight.
No problem, guys. It was a good game tonight. Piedmont basically had their way pretty much in the first half. They went up pretty early, went 7-0, and was able to get on the board pretty early. Then they were able, right before halftime, to get a field goal. And pretty much it was all running game the entire first half. Going to the second half, MacArthur was trying to make a run at it, and they got a touchdown pretty early on. A bad turnover by Piedmont made it 7-10, and then MacArthur was driving again, about to go up a score. They're in the red zone, and senior Cole Riggs, he plays both ways. He plays safety as well as the wide receiver in this triple option team. He picked the ball out of the end zone, was able to get the ball back. We didn't get anything going on that one, and didn't get anything on that drive, but stopped them on that touchdown. And tough break by the end of it. MacArthur finally kind of stepped up, and Bush, the running back for Lawton MacArthur, just went off in that final drive, was able to get down the field, get a touchdown. The one thing that I just want to say, I understand, we all love high school football and everything, and emotions get high, parents are, wanting to cheer on their kid and whatnot, but I just want to make just a PSA. I'm on the call tonight. It got a little heated, but whenever a kid's injured on the ground and he's still kind of rolling on his back and writhing in a little bit of pain, hopefully Bryson Pace is nothing too serious happened and he's okay. And but the one part that was just irritating for it was halfway through when he was writhing in pain, the Lawton faithful were cheering their touchdown, and basically while a guy was riding around on pain, it's just kind of not the greatest thing to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No doubt about it, man.
And so, but no, the Piedmont had a chance. They went back, had about 4.5 minutes. They marched the field and got to about the 10-yard line, and they were trying to put it in there, and it was 4th and 6, and went for a pass on the far side of the field, and it just out of reach for it was Copeland, I believe, and just out of reach. It was inches away from maybe having a little shocker down Lawton with Piedmont coming back on it.
Who was your Martinez Agency player of the game tonight, Mark?
Well, I want to call out two players mainly, but one is Bush, running back for Lawton. He had a stellar second half. He had both touchdowns for Lawton came on his legs. Second player though for Piedmont, player that really hadn't done a whole lot compared to what he did tonight. Josh Marnes, sophomore from Piedmont, when I think it was about 20 rushes for about 115 yards, if I remember correctly. Had one touchdown and basically willed this team to get there. And the one scary thing about Piedmont with the triple option that they run, the entire running back core and quarterback core are all sophomores, and they hung in there with Carl Albert when we played them earlier. We lost 31-13 on the last. They scored a kind of a last-second touchdown at the end of the game, and they've kind of hung in games all year, just been a little bit short. And I think this team going forward is going to be a scary team.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you for your help this year and all of your reports, and we will talk to you in basketball season.
Sounds good.
All right, Mark Larson with Piedmont.
Thanks, Mark.
And appreciate him. Randy, we'll get to your brackets here coming up in just a few minutes. I know we need to go over who's doing what next week and how the playoff standings look. But let's go back to the Rogers State University in-studio hotline. The mayor, Bill Bush, joining us, voice of the Rejoice Christian Eagles, and, the mayor of Owasso. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, Grant. How are you?
Well, I'm okay. It looks like you, I was surprised you have a voice left tonight after this 61 to 20, something like that?
61 to 30, but you know what? These guys, I mean, I'm used to it by now because I think the last 7 weeks it's been 54 points plus for this high-powered, high-octane Rejoice offense. We're just used to it by now. They hang a half 100 just about every time they go out and play.
Well, I know they had a big one tonight. Kind of give us the rundown and give us your Martinez Agency player of the game. Who was that tonight?
Yeah, well, the first half, I mean, Keeper played the Keeper Trojans tonight, and they kept it interesting there, especially in the first half, able to score with a little less than 2 minutes left of the first half to draw within 2 scores, 34-18, and then they got the kickoff. They received the second half kickoff. So all of a sudden, if they can go down and score, this is a one-score ball game, but the defense able to hold, and then Rejoice was able to go down and score, and then just constantly, just kind of, they only stopped themselves from scoring as they only one possession did they not score, and that was because they fumbled on one possession. Other than that, they scored every time they had the ball, and were able to pull out on the end to be able to come away with that 61-30 victory. And it's nice. Last year was their first year in 2A. They limped into the playoffs in the 4th place finish, and then they had to go and face Metro Christian in the very first game. And so that's kind of tough when you have to play the 2-time now defending state champion Metro Christian. But it's a lot nicer when you're district and you play the 4th place team, because that 2A7 is a very tough district, as all 3 of the other 3 teams on that side, on that bracket, the 2A7 side, beat the other 3 2A8 teams. So that just tells you how tough that bracket is. And Kiefer, I think they scored 40 points on victory, so you knew coming in that they had a quality ball club, and they fought to the end. But in the end, the Rejoice Eagles were able to come out with a 61-30 victory to go on into the second round to take on the Antler Bearcats next week in the second round of the playoffs.
Will you get to host that, or do you have to go on the road?
No, we get to host, and here's the thing, because it's the old odd even year, and this year it's the even bracket. So we will host Antlers next week, and of course we're lining up to play Washington, most likely. And if Washington does end up winning on their side over Jones, I can't remember if Jones won tonight or not. I know they were in a dogfight with Luther. I think they ended up pulling it out. So if Washington beats Jones, then we'll get to host 3 games in a row, but we got to take care of Antlers next week first. If Jones wins that ball game in the third round, we'll have to go to Jones.
All right. Well, I know you've got the 2A brackets probably memorized by now. So,
that's a lot of teams out there. 2A, it's not like 6A 1 and 2 and 5A where you've only got 16 teams, or 8 teams starting out, or 16 teams. You got.
Well, heck, they're in the semifinals already.
Yeah, they're in the semifinals. We're just round 2. We got you got to win 5 or 4 games to get to the finals in 2A. So it's a little tougher in 2A. But yeah, I do know so far as going up against Washington or Jones and Antlers. But again, can't look past Antlers at this point in the year. You can't look past anybody because only quality ball clubs are left at this point.
All right, Bill, we'll talk to you next week. Thanks for being with us. And
Jay Miller is our player of the game, by the way.
That's right, our Martinez Agency player of the game, Jay Miller for the Rejoice Christian Eagles. And I'm sorry, I forgot to ask you that. All right, buddy, thank you.
Gotta give him his props. You bet.
There you go. That's Bill Bush, mayor of Owasso and voice of the Rejoice Christian Eagles. All right, now next up, Cashin and Dibble did battle tonight, and Drew Baker had the play-by-play call on CashinWildcats.tv. How are you, sir?
Good. How are you?
Good. Doing well. Usually we hear from Nima, but he said he was stepping away tonight and putting it in your hands, Drew.
Yeah, he said he was going to step away tonight and kind of let me revel in the spotlight, I guess.
There you go. It's kind of a dim spotlight, but we'll let you revel in it all you want. So
great night for Cashin tonight, Drew.
Yeah, it really was. I don't think there was anybody in Class A that really thought Cashin was going to have any real trouble with Dibble tonight. And I'll say Dibble did some things well, but as far as Class A goes, I think everybody's kind of looking at who Cashin's going to play for round 2. Not to overstep the Dibble game tonight, but plays action, 38 plays by Cashin, 38 plays by Dibble. Cashin's total yards were 455. Dibble's total yards were 101. Passing yards 280 to 33. Rushing yards 165 to 68, and first downs 14 to 6. And most of Dibble's first downs came in that second half. So not a very explosive offense from Dibble, and Cashin kind of went out there offensively and got some things done in the first half.
Who's your Martinez Agency player of the game tonight?
I think there was a couple people that you could put on that list. Ben Harmon had a great game offensively. He was able to really do anything that he wanted. Landon Lagasse had some big runs and made 2 interceptions. Mason Manning had 2 really good touchdowns and some good runs going up and down the field. I'd probably say player of the game, I'd probably go with Ben Harmon just because offensively they were able to do whatever they wanted. Wherever he wanted to throw to, they could get it to. Wherever he wanted to pass it off to or hand it off to or run the ball to, he was kind of able to do really whatever he wanted to. He had a lot of freedom to do it.
All right, Drew, good game tonight. We will talk to you, one of you guys, next week.
Yep, next week we play the Hooker Bulldogs.
There you go. All right, good luck to you guys. Thank you for being with us. Next up at 11:28, Josh Calloway, voice of the Newcastle Racers, joining us tonight. Josh, Newcastle taking it on the chin and ending the season this evening.
Yeah, kind of a tough way for the season to end for Newcastle. A pretty solid season all around. Obviously came in kind of a rebuild. Wasn't expected to be a playoff team. So you're happy to have gotten there. But then once you're there, you're playing your biggest rival in Tuttle. You hope to put up a good fight. And look, this game got off to a dream start for the Racers, too. It was first possession of the game. Newcastle gets the football. They go 10-plus minutes, first drive, down the field, moving the chains, converted 3 4th downs. Had to settle for a field goal, but still, they used the whole first quarter and had a lead, 3-0 on the road. You're thinking, okay, well, if you're going to limit the possession, that's your best formula for pulling off this upset. Then they get a quick 3-and-out. get the ball right back. You know, the first 13, 14 minutes of this game, the Racers had the ball for, you know, all but 1 minute or so. And they're moving down the field again. Look like they might try to push this lead out. But then sophomore quarterback Jackson Burt, who's had a great season, you know, really encouraging season for the future, bad interception thrown across his body. I mean, and right there, just boom. I mean, momentum switches over to the Tuttle side. You know, they kind of got up to a little bit of a shaky, almost nervous type of start, kind of a nervous energy at Bill Hinkle Field. Not after that. It was like that interception took a weight off their shoulders. They went down Cannon West for a 46-yard touchdown run shortly after that. Next kickoff, Newcastle fumbles the kickoff return. Tuttle takes that. They score again right away. And then that was really kind of the end of the game right there. Tigers went on a big run. Racers turned the ball over 5 times tonight. I mean, you're not going to beat almost anybody turning the ball over 5 times, especially a Tuttle team that obviously is now 11-0 on the season. So for the second straight year, Racers season ends in Tuttle. And for the Tigers, I'm looking at them saying this team has got as good of a chance as anybody to, you know, go all the way in 4A.
All right, Josh, appreciate all your help this year. We'll talk to you in basketball season. Thanks for being with us.
Absolutely. I'll be at another game next week for Oklahoma Sports Network. I'm not sure where yet. So if you're interested, I'll be somewhere next week. But all right. if not,
we'll definitely do that.
Next time.
As the old Baptist hymn says, wherever you lead, we'll go. So there you go.
Absolutely. Look forward to it.
All right, brother. Thank you. Josh Callaway, voice of the Newcastle Racers. We'll take a go ahead, Randy.
I was just going to say, Grant, real quick, our man Cameron Jordan tweeted out something we were asking about the longest trip. How about this one? Elk City to Grove next week. It's 305 miles.
Well, that's a big one. That may outpace the one Adam Dieselhorst sent me. That was Valco Forgan to somewhere, Elmore City, I think.
Well, basically near Amarillo all the way up to Joplin. Yeah, that's crazy. Anyway, I know we got a break. Just thought I'd pass that along to you.
We'll take a quick break and be back right after this on the Prep Sports Postgame.
Dr. Matt Dieselhorst at Dieselhorst Sports and Orthopedics can help you get game day ready. Dr. Dieselhorst works with athletes of all ages, taking a coordinated approach to accelerate return to play and maximize athletic performance. His work with pros in sports training, injury prevention, bracing, functional rehabilitation, and imaging works seamlessly with his medical and surgical expertise. Get started by going to Dieselhorst Sports and Orthopedics. Let Dr. Matt Dieselhorst get you back on the field, backing all Oklahoma athletes on the field and off.
Let's face it, high school and college sports have changed. And if you plan on taking your talents to the next level, marketing is the name of the game. That is where the Martinez Agency comes in. The Martinez Agency is one of the fastest growing sports marketing firms in the region and can help you set up marketing avenues for your athlete. From player websites to navigating the ever-changing rules of name, imaging, and likeness to generating sponsorship dollars, the Martinez Agency does it all. Athletes, it is time to share your brand story. Log on to martinez-agency.com and find out how today.
If you're a coach or athletic director, this message is for you. Legacy Entertainment has provided light and sound for Oklahoma's hottest concerts for years, but now they're helping schools just like yours elevate their game day atmosphere. From providing light and sound systems to coordinating your team's run-through with fog machines and the hottest elements out there, they'll make sure Friday nights are never the same again. They've helped schools like OU, and they'll help you too. Check them out at LegacyLLC.net. Legacy Entertainment, where every day is game day.
As the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority continues infrastructure modernization, there's never been a better time to have a Pike Pass. Pike Pass account holders enjoy the best toll rates available and interoperability with Kansas and Texas. Open a Pike Pass account today at PikePass.com. Create your own Oklahoma adventure on Amtrak's Heartland Flyer. Enjoy free Wi-Fi, plug-in power, big windows, comfy seats, and 5 stops in Oklahoma. Experience a better way to travel. Book today at Amtrak.com/Heartland Flyer.
Looking for a family-friendly food option that has something for everyone? Qdoba is the answer. Qdoba is a proud sponsor of the franchise high school game of the week. And whether you want a burrito stuffed with steak or you want a bowl filled with cilantro, lime rice, and black beans, Qdoba has you covered. Ask them about catering. They can take care of you from a small group of friends with chips and queso to major events. Remember, fast, friendly, and fresh. Qdoba on 1300 West Covell in Edmond is the place to go.
I'm attorney Noble McIntyre at McIntyre Law. We have over 100 years of combined litigation experience fighting for Oklahomans injured as a result of a semi-crash. These crashes are traumatic and in most cases cause catastrophic injuries and even death. Our most most recent trial involved a fatal semi-truck crash resulting in a $4.25 million verdict for our client. If you have been injured and want to know more about your rights, call us at 405-917-5200 or visit us at McIntyreLaw.com. Download our new app today.
In my dream, I created something new. I built something good. In a way, Pioneer Fasteners and Tools provides puzzle pieces for your dreams. Come get inspired. See our full line of Milwaukee tools, fastening systems for every scenario, Radiance gloves and safety, Warner ladders and fall protection. Let us build you up. Pioneer Fasteners and Tools.
Riding a motorcycle down Route 66 is a religious experience. You are at one with the road. Sooner Indian Motorcycle in Norman can help you make that happen. With new Indian motorcycles in the showroom and the largest pre-owned inventory in the state, which means you can ride today. Sooner Indian Motorcycles in Norman, behind On Cue on Tecumseh.
Come see my daddy for your next motorcycle at Sooner Indian Motorcycle. Tell them Maddie sent you.
Prep Sports Post Game on the Game Day Oklahoma Network. Grant Merrill in Tulsa. Randy Heights joining us from Moore tonight. Eric King in Oklahoma City punching all the buttons and making us sound good. And somewhere between Cushing and Elk City is Hugh Foley, the voice of Cushing on 1600 KUSH. How are you, sir?
Hey, fellas. Good to be with you again tonight. We knew it'd be a close one coming in. Both Cushing and Elk City were right at even statistically coming into tonight's game. Elk City strategy, we knew it the whole season. You can go back and look at the preseason material. They were going to utilize toss sweeps, inside power running, and let all that set up their play-action pass. That's exactly what they did. Cushing brought in a strong passing game. Blaze Barlowitz over 3,000 yards passing this year, but the Elks were ready for him. They scored first, 16-yard touchdown run in the first, and that was the only score in the first half. That's the first time Tigers haven't scored in the first half all season. After the break, Elk City used the run game to set up a 72-yard touchdown pass, exposing the Tigers' Achilles heel. For whatever reason this year, they've given up several long balls, but it hasn't hurt them in the win-loss column till tonight. Cushing stormed back with the familiar connection between Barlowitz and Crooks. The two juniors teamed up for two almost identical 50-yard pass plays for touchdowns, tied it up 14-14. The late-game key for Elk City was a stifling defense that harassed Tiger quarterback Barlowitz all night, not giving him a chance to sit back in the pocket and pick them apart like he's done to so many people all season long. After stopping the Tigers on fourth down in Cushing territory, Elks drove down the field on successive runs, going ahead 21-14 on a 2-yard touchdown run. Tigers had a last chance with under a minute left. Elk City intercepted Barlowitz in the end zone, allowed the Elks to go into victory formations. Where it ends up, Elk City 21, Cushing 14. Not how we wanted it to end, but the 2021 season shows a lot of promise for next year. All the skill players are juniors. The bulk of the linemen are juniors. So the Tigers should be tough next year. Interestingly, we're moving to District 4A3, which includes Wagner, Miami, Skytooth, Tulsa McLean. So instead of going west and south, as we have been for all 8 years I've been calling Tiger games, now we're going to start going east. Tigers wind up 9-2 on the season. Barlowitz is a 3,000-yard passer. Crooks had 20 TDs. Middle linebacker Riley Matheson over 130 tackles for the year. Elk City 9-2, heading to the quarterfinals on that long 300-mile drive to Grove. But they bring it. Their crowd, their band, they were in full force and really supported their team. So not the way we want it to end. 6 months of wait in the spring, the 7-on-7 stuff, the summer pride, practice, and the season. And so it takes the air out of your sails right at the end of the year. But Coach Rusty Morgan runs a really good program. He's a good teacher and coach. And I enjoy following the Tigers. Players of the game, got to give it to the Elk City defense for holding Cushing to 2 TDs when they've been averaging 42 points a game this season. And the offensive line for that power running game they had. And that's the story from Cushing tonight.
All right, brother. Thank you for your help this year. We'll talk to you during basketball season.
Okay, fellas. Hang in there. Keep on going. Enjoy the show.
All right. Thanks.
joining us from KUSH in Cushing tonight. Seth Crowder made the trip from Anadarko to Sulphur, called the game for Anadarko on New Country 98.5 out of Lawton. And Seth, not the way Anadarko wanted to end the season, but a good ball game nonetheless in Southern Oklahoma tonight.
Yeah, guys, a real good game tonight, but man, it was just a physical grind out of a game. And all right, it was actually a low-scoring game, but Williams actually got off to another good game for the Warriors. He had a couple touchdown passes, but both teams got out to a fast start. It was 8-8 after the first, and then Sulphur, they scored in the second quarter to make it 14-8 at halftime. And it was actually scoreless in the third quarter. But Anadarko, they did force 2 fumbles, but they just couldn't convert those into points. And then in the fourth quarter, Carson Williams hit Terrence Johnson for a 23-yard passing touchdown to make it 14-14. Sulphur actually got the ball back, and Anadarko, they did force a punt, but then they went stagnant offense. The Bulldogs got the ball back, and then the Warriors actually got a defensive pass interference deep in their own territory, which ended with a 32-yard field goal. They ended up being the game winner with 36 seconds left. They ended Anadarko's season 17-14.
All right, your Martinez Agency player of the game. Who's that going to be tonight?
I'd have to give it to Sulphur's kicker, Daniel Amaya. I mean, that's a gutsy kick, drilled it, all that pressure. Man, what a kick.
All right, well, Seth, appreciate your help this season. We look forward to talking to you during basketball.
All right, appreciate you guys.
All right, Seth Crowder with the Anadarko broadcasts on New Country 98.5 in Lawton. The coach, Tony Daniels, had an eye on Verdigris tonight. Coach, how'd it go for the Cardinals?
Hey, gentlemen, how you guys doing?
Doing well.
Good. So it ended up well. Verdigris ended up winning 41-33. First half, there was some mishaps on special teams for Verdigris. Seminole got on the board actually first to start the evening. They kind of went a little bit stagnant on both sides of the ball, Seminole and also Verdigris on offense. Kind of after that, halftime was 21-19. We had a couple of missed PATs and had a bad snap on one and another one just kind of missed. So going in at halftime, Seminole was up 21-19. Verdigris kind of struggled a little bit with the power read game. Quarterback had a couple of good runs. Seminole was able to get to the edge, and Verdigris kind of started stymieing down on defense and came back out in the second half. And they just started running the ball. They were kind of pounding the ball, going quick, no huddle. Ended up finally getting up by 12 and kind of towards the end of the game. Seminole was able to get one more touchdown kind of late on a little hook and ladder play that kind of set them up, and they ended up scoring and tried going for 2, and they missed it. But the final score tonight, Verdigris 41, Seminole 33.
Tony, who's your Martinez Agency player of the game tonight?
You know what? I'm going to have to go ahead and say the offensive line, just from what I watched for Verdigris. It was something that coming out after half, it was something they needed to make a statement, and they've been getting better every week up front. They've got a starting sophomore, Ryan Wells. They've got some other kids that are juniors and a senior that play up front. So I would have to go with the offensive line. I thought they played really well.
All right, next up for Verdigris.
We're going to make the travel, it looks like, to Plainview.
Okay, long trip. We will look.
Yeah, long trip.
Yeah, we'll look forward to talking to you next week, brother. Thank you.
Hey, appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
All right, Tony Daniels joining us tonight with the Verdigris Cardinals. Next up, Blanchard on the road. Big game tonight as Preston Poole had the call. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Good. Doing well. Give us the rundown on Blanchard and Bethany.
Yeah, been a tough little couple weeks for the Lions with injuries. Of course, a couple weeks ago, Carson Cooksey, one of the better quarterbacks in the 4A, went down. Looks like he's done for the season. And then tonight, their backup, Bryson Frazier, went out in the second half, so they had to turn to Rio Reynolds. He wasn't able to get it done, so they bring a wide receiver, Jackson Lamanek, in. He was the third string last year. He comes in and settles things down in the second half after Blanchard opened up that 18-0 run there in the first half, and Blanchard able to come out with a win over Bethany, and what I thought was kind of going into this week one of the better games in 4A, at least team-wise. Good matchup there, and able to get things done out there in Bethany.
Preston, who's your Martinez Agency player of the game tonight?
Well, it has to be senior Lincoln Smith. He third week in a row that he's really showed out there for the Lions. He had a 51-yard touchdown to open things up, and then he had another interception in the game tonight. So I'd have to say Lincoln Smith.
Hey, Preston, you got a big game next week. What are your thoughts, and what do you know about Pocho for you guys next week?
Well, I know I'm going to need someone to send me directions because I have no clue where Poto's at. Other than that,
go to Salisaw, hang a right, stop at Wild Horse Mountain Barbecue on your way up the hill. You won't regret it. And then keep on going down 59. You'll be to Poto in about 20 minutes.
Okay, that was another question is I need somewhere to go eat out there on our way out there. But, just looking at scores that Poto's put up this year, I mean, they scored almost 50 in every game. So it's going to have to be a good week for the Blanchard Lion defense next week. And they're going to have to, the last couple of weeks have kind of reverted back to the run-based offense, not having really a good passing quarterback since Cooksy's been out. So they're going to have to establish the run and just play good defense next week.
Okay, if you remember anything from this phone call, Wild Horse Mountain Barbecue.
I will write that down and put that in my notes. Thank you, sir.
I want a full report this time next week. So.
All righty, sounds good.
All right, brother. Thank you, Preston. Preston going with Blanchard tonight. All right, before we go to Cameron Jordan, Randy, let's go ahead and go over all of our playoff matchups as we have them now.
All right, let's see. 6A matchups for 6A1 in the semifinals. Jinx will take on Mustang. Union will take on Broken Arrow. Let's drop down to 6A2. If I could turn my paper over here, would help. 6A2, Sand Springs and Deer Creek. Bixby will take on Stillwater in one of the semifinals. 5A, Lawton Mac takes on Pryor. McAllister will take on Guthrie. You got Carl Albert and Coweta on one side of the bracket, and Collinsville and McGinnis on the other side. Let's go down to Class 4A. Clinton and Bristow on one side, and the bottom half of that bracket is Grove and Elk City. On the other side of the bracket, Tuttle and Wagner, and the bottom half is Poto and Blanchard in 4A. 3A brackets, Heritage Hall and Berry Hill, and then Lincoln Christian and Sulphur. Other side of the bracket is Plainview and Verdigris. The bottom half is Holland Hall and Perkins. Let's go down to 2A. Oklahoma Christian and Community Christian. Then Eufaula and Metro Christian. Marlowe and Chandler. Victory Christian and Cassia Hall. Then we go to the other side of the bracket. Vian and Beggs. Crossings Christian and Lindsay. Rejoice Christian and Antlers. Jones and Washington for all the 2A matchups. Now let's go to Class A. You got Fairview and Tonkawa, Morrison and Stroud, Ringling and Minko, Mounds and Pawnee, Pawhuska and Concord, Burns Flat, Del City, Elmore City, Gore and Woodland, Cashion and Hooker. That's the Class A matchups. Class B matchups. We've got Laverne and Tipton, Summit Christian and Regent Prep, Velma, Alma, and Shattuck, Pioneer and Arcoma. The other side of the bracket, Dewar and Garber, Sealing and Caddo, Davenport and Kyoto, Empire and Balco on that side of the Class B bracket. Now at Class C, we're almost done here. Tyrone and Midway, Timberlake and Boise City, Mountain View, Godibo, and Wesleyan Christian, and Maud and Winoka is the bottom half. And that's your second round matchups, semifinal matchups, quarterfinal matchups, whatever you want to call them for whatever class you're in.
All right, we'll talk to Cameron Jordan with the Oklahoman right after this of the Prep Sports Postgame.
When your health throws you a curveball, many times outpatient rehab is your best option. Aspen Health and Rehab in Broken Arrow is changing the way that Oklahoma families are thinking about long-term care. With every amenity of home, first-class dining, and professionals that put your care first, Aspen Health and Rehab is ready to take on your personalized plan of care. Check them out today at aspenhealthrehab.com. Aspen Health and Rehab, where healthcare and luxury come together.
Squirtle is Oklahoma's premium scoring app for high school sports statewide. Through Squirtle, not only can sports fans check their team's scores, rankings, district standings, and schedules, they can find fake playoff brackets, chat live on the new chat forum, or use the new fan poll to pick individual game winners. Updates are rolling out regularly, keeping the app fresh and current. Know the score of games across Oklahoma. Download the Squirtle app now for free in the Apple or Android store. Always know the score with Squirtle.
Why did we choose Rogers State University?
I like the smaller classes.
I like a professor who knows me by name.
I like living on campus.
I like receiving financial aid to help me with tuition.
Discover RSU for yourself.
Our education, our goals, our future. It all starts here. Your future begins now at Rogers State University in Northeast Oklahoma. In-state tuition available. Learn more at rsu.edu.
As the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority continues infrastructure modernization, there's never been a better time to have a Plaque Pass. Plaque Pass account holders enjoy the best toll rates available and interoperability with Kansas and Texas. Open a Plaque Pass account today at plaquepass.com. Create your own Oklahoma adventure on Amtrak's Heartland Flyer. Enjoy free Wi-Fi, plug-in power, big windows, comfy seats, and 5 stops in Oklahoma. Experience a better way to travel. Book today at Amtrak.com/HeartlandFlyer.
Looking for a family-friendly food option that has something for everyone? Qdoba is the answer. Qdoba is a proud sponsor of the franchise high school game of the week. And whether you want a burrito stuffed with steak or you want a bowl filled with cilantro, lime rice, and black beans, Qdoba has you covered. Ask them about catering. They can take care of you from a small group of friends with chips and queso to major events. Remember, fast, friendly, and fresh. Qdoba on 1300 West Covell in Edmond is the place to go.
I'm attorney Noble McIntyre at McIntyre Law. We have over 100 years of combined litigation experience fighting for Oklahomans injured as a result of a semi-crash. These crashes are traumatic and in most cases cause catastrophic injuries and even death. Our most recent trial involved a fatal semi-truck crash resulting in a $4.25 million verdict for our client. If you have been injured and want to know more about your rights, call us at 405-917-5200 or visit us at McIntyreLaw.com. Download our new app today.
In my dream, I created something new. I built something good. In a way, Pioneer Fasteners and Tools provides puzzle pieces for your dreams. Come get inspired. See our full line of Milwaukee tools, fastening systems for every scenario, Radian's gloves and safety, Warner ladders and fall protection. Let us build you up. Pioneer Fasteners and Tools.
Riding a motorcycle down Route 66 is a religious experience. You are at one with the road. Sooner Indian Motorcycle of Norman can help you make that happen. With new Indian motorcycles in the showroom and the largest pre-owned inventory in the state, which means you can ride today. Sooner Indian Motorcycles in Norman, behind OnQ on Tecumseh.
Come see my daddy for your next motorcycle at Sooner Indian Motorcycle. Tell them Maddie sent you.
Back here on the Prep Sports Post Game on the Game Day Oklahoma Network. It's all presented by Aspen Health and Rehab. I'm Grant Barrell in Tulsa. Randy Hyde's joining us from Moore tonight, and Eric King is in the studios with Tyler Media, punching all the buttons and making us sound good this evening. Cameron Jordan of the Daily Oklahoman was out and about tonight. He's got all of his prognostications done. And Cameron, where were you this evening?
Real quick before I get to where I was, I can't believe you mentioned a trip to Poto without mentioning Shad's Catfish Hole between Sallisaw and Poto. Now, that's a good place to stop to eat, Preston, if you're still listening. That is definitely a place to go to try to get some good food.
Right there in the shadows of Kerr Lake. It is a good place. But, you know, Wild Horse Mountain Barbecue right there on the left, it's a legend, too. You
can't go wrong.
Oh, it's Sequoia. And Charlie's Chicken, the original Charlie's Chicken there in Sallisaw is probably the best of the bunch there. So you got all kinds of dining opportunities in Sequoia County for sure.
But I was at Mustang tonight for Edmond Santa Fe at Mustang, and it's a game that Mustang controlled from the outset. They dominated rushing the ball, had 5 rushing touchdowns. Defensively, were really able to shut down star receiver Talon Shetcher, and he only had 4 catches for 48 yards. Meanwhile, Jay Bedford had 4 rushing touchdowns for Mustang. Tristan Russell had a rushing score too. They were just really controlled the game running the ball, and Mustang's on to the semis next week where they get a shot to try to take down Jinx.
Were you surprised, as the rest of us, by the Owasso loss tonight?
You know, a little bit, yes, but part of me says no. Broken Arrow has really changed its offense throughout the course of the season. Give major kudos to Coach Josh Blankenship. He's really made an effort to get their 2 stars the ball. Marion Horn and Robert Spears Jennings. Those 2 are touching the ball a lot more than they were at the beginning of the year. And when that happens, that leads to good things. Those 2 are so talented. Robert Spears Jennings, obviously, defensive back commit for OU, and then Marion Horn's committed to Texas Tech. But those 2, the more they touch the ball, the better for Broken Arrow. And that's what's happened recently, and that's why they were able to be awesome.
Hey, Cameron, the one I wanted to look at was in 6A1 that really caught me by surprise. I mean, nothing against Sand Springs, but the way Del City had been playing basically since district play started, that game shocked me tonight. How about you?
You know, a little bit, but not much. As the season was progressing, there were a bunch of people who thought that possibly Sand Springs is the 4th best team in 6A2 in the East Division, was better than the top team in the West Division, and that proved to be the case tonight. And a big reason why is because Bobby Klink is an excellent football coach. His teams always seem to do really well in the playoffs, and look at what he's doing again. But Ty Pennington, too, their senior quarterback, he's a stud. There's no other way to put it. He's a really, really good football player and has been excellent for them. And had a big game tonight. I believe, if I read correctly, had the game-winning touchdown rush, too. So 2 passing touchdowns, a game-winning run for a score. But Sand Springs is a really good football team and now has an opportunity to make it to the state championship game if they can beat Deer Creek next week.
Biggest surprise tonight for you, what would it be?
Elk City, the first one that really pops off is Elk City being able to go to Cushing and pull off that win. Dalen Thompson is a running back for them. I think he's probably over 2,000 yards on the season now. Set the single-season rushing record for Elk City last week, and he's had a tremendous year. Don't know the full stats from that game. I heard the report earlier on here, but I know that he's had a really big year, and I would assume that he had a big game tonight for them to be able to pull off that upset. But that's a really big win for an Elk City team against a Cushing team that many people, including myself, I've picked Cushing to win a state title at the beginning of the year, so I definitely did not expect that tonight. So kudos to Elk City and their coaching staff. They're having a tremendous year, 9-2, and we'll have a fun one next week getting to go up to Grove.
Hey, Cameron, real fast, one quick question. What's one game you're looking forward to next week in round 2?
Oh, man. Off the top, I want to see how I want to see how Mustang competes against Jinx. I want to see whether they can come out and perform really well. I want to see Deer Creek against Sand Springs. I think Deer Creek, that score tonight may shock a bunch of people. Then beating Choctaw doesn't surprise me one bit for a bunch of different reasons. But I think Deer Creek has a really, really good team, really senior heavy. I'm interested to see what they do to try to slow down Sand Springs next week. But probably number 1 on my list right now that pops off the top of my head is Guthrie at McAllister. I think Guthrie is playing its best football right now. They're 10-1 on the year now. Only loss came late to Carl Albert. McAllister has one of the state's best defenses, coined the Black Death defense. Love that name. They also have Eric McCarty, which if you haven't heard of him, you need to hear of him. Go watch his highlights. Eric McCarty is a junior for them. It's incredible. 2 great running backs in that game with Eric McCarty from McAllister, Isaiah Hammond for Guthrie. That one is going to be a real fun one down in McAllister next week.
All right, Cameron, appreciate your insight as always tonight, and we will talk to you next week.
Sounds good, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, Cameron Jordan, Daily Oklahoma, joining us here. Got about a minute left. We're going to try to squeeze Big Ben Welch on real quick because, we can't do a show without Big Ben. Tonkawa tonight. You guys punching your ticket to the next round, Ben. Who was your player of the game?
My player of the game is senior defensive tackle Dante Mendoza. Really had a
key factor in shutting down that potent run game there from Wayne. And obviously, the score says itself, 27-0. First time Wayne's been dominated like that all season long.
And who do you guys have next week?
Man, we got to go to Fairview to take on the 11-0 Fairview Yellow Jackets, and it's going to be a fun one.
All right, brother. Well, we wanted to get you on. We saved the best for last. Appreciate your short but important commentary on the Prep Sports postgame tonight.
Yes, sir. Short and sweet, and I appreciate that, Grant.
All right,
hey,
brother.
Ben, thanks.
Catch you next week.
Hey, have a good night, fellas.
Thank you. Randy, another good show. Calls all the way up to the very end.
No doubt. Our last one's next week, right? Or do we have two more weeks?
We have one more week.
And then basketball.
Then basketball. All right. You have a good weekend, Randy. We thank you. Good night. God bless. Thanks for listening to the Prep Sports Post Game on the Game Day Oklahoma Network. We will see you next Friday.
KRXO FM and KRXO HD Oklahoma City, a product of Tyler Media. Vote the franchise your favorite station for sports. We now return to Sports Map Radio, already in progress. 107.7 The Franchise and the Franchise mobile app.
By Radio Pros. Plus, you don't have to worry about getting into a crazy amount of debt with school tuition either.